Ooh, Patricia. Yes, yes, yes. Patience, 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 everyone. Patience, patience, patience. Hello, Carolina. Carolina, let me know. Norway, amazing. And I think I see Rebecca here as well. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if I'm getting your name correct or not. I would be more than happy to correct myself. Hill, beautiful, first time. Thank you so much for joining me here, beautiful ones. All right, on the dot at 7 minutes in, let's take a moment, shall we? Allow yourself to come into this space. Allow your tailbone to sink down. If you're walking, allow yourself to sink into the soles of your feet. If you're seated, please allow yourself to completely sink in through the tailbone, the tip of your tailbone going all the way down. Carolina. Okay, perfect. You see my energy is starting to channel through, so I usually see my screen going crazy, like it's just blitzing right now. So everyone join me in here. If you're joining me, just allow yourself to sink the tip of your tailbone down right now. And close your eyes. Allowing your belly to inhale deep oceans of chi. Bring all the strands of energy in through the belly, left and right, front and back. Make it really big. Let the air in, let the light in, let the spirit in. And exhaling, let it all go through into the pelvic bones, into the pelvic bowl. Really allow your light to infuse this part of your body. Let it move through your sacrum. Let it move through your reproductive organs. Let it be infused with light. With your full presence, with a full announcement, I am here. And then let the light move and continue to flow through your hip joints, all the way down your legs, through the thighs, into the ankles, and out through the soles of your feet. And continue to observe the energy flow as it continues to flow deeper, deeper through the earth, deep into the heart of Mother Earth. It is deeper than you could ever know. So allow yourself to continue to drop in. Drop in, drop in, drop in. Continue to go, continue to go. Yes, continue to flow. Continue to flow to the inner home where the dark goddess resides. The dark goddess who governs all aspects of creation, whether it is birth or death. She who governs all aspects of transformation, alchemy. Allow yourself to continue to flow through, to feel her all-encompassing presence here in the darkness, in the unknown. Connecting with her essence, connecting with her divine presence, in this rich tapestry of stillness. Continue to allow yourself to deepen, drop in. Allow the muscles in your body to be silent. Allow it to release. Allow any sensation in your skin to be silent now. Release. Let go. And allow your bones, every bit of it, to be silent now. Let go. Only in the letting go that you can be free to truly deeply receive, to truly deeply listen to what is to emerge, the new possibility. This is not where we will listen any longer to the logical mind. This is not a place where we are going to analyze or convince. This simply is pure stillness. Allow yourself to go there. Allow yourself to feel the emptiness of this center point of the vortex. Allow yourself to become no thing, no name, no time, no space. Completely meld and mold and merge with this empty space. And allow the Dark Goddess to mold you. Allow yourself to see what she is weaving around you. Threads and threads of interconnectedness. Each fractal connected to one another. Each fractal infinitely reflective of one another. Each web originating from the one source. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in and place your hands up around the space of your heart and exhale into the space between your palms. Inhaling one more time up into the sacrum, all the way up into the belly. And inhale one more time, bring your breath up into the heart and hold it right there. Let this magnetic field expand in the heart. Continue to hold your breath, continue to bring more breath into the heart, bring more energy all the way in here. Build up the cosmic light in your heart, so much so that whenever you are ready, you can exhale it all the way up, shoot it up, shoot your heart, shoot the cosmic light up into your mind, into the brain center, the center of your head, also known as the place of 100 meeting points. Let that crown of your head open now and connect to the cosmos. Connect to your original essence. You are spirit here, being human. Connect back to your original essence, that which is all that is, that which is infinite. Open up. Connect to the portal, the light of 1212. What does that feel like for you? Only you can feel it. Only you can experience the transmission that is uniquely dialed in for you. Open the crown of your head completely. Surrender to the light that is pouring in. That is you. There is no separation. Receive, keep breathing in, drink the light in, into your heart, and exhale it all the way down into the tip of the tailbone and release down into the earth. Continue to drink in the threads of light from beneath. Drink it all the way into the heart and hold it just like we did. Hold it. And at the same time, notice the light that is pouring through from above, all the way into the heart. Let both ends meet. As above, so below. In the heart. Hold. Keep holding. Hold longer than you think you can. Exhale the heart now into the mind. One mind, one heart. And then inhale the mind, bring the mind down into the heart. One mind, one heart. Hold it. Let the mind be astonished. Let the mind revel in this powerful magnetic field in the heart. And exhale all the way down, beautiful, into the space below the navel now, everyone. Beautiful. Wow, my screen is going crazy right now, the blitzing. All right, beautiful ones. Let's gather all our energy, gather full presence into the space below the navel now, everyone. And as you do so, I would like you to project the image of me right across from where you're seated. Let me astral travel into your space. And can you feel my hand on that place below the navel, on top of your hand? Warming this beautiful cauldron of light, bringing cosmic healing and love, returning you to the remembrance of your wholeness. This is the secret way, my love. You are made for greatness. You're not here to live small. You are here to lead and live and leave a legacy. Now inhale. Open your eyes, beautiful ones, open your eyes. Let your radiance come through the eyes. Notice how much more steady your gaze is. Looking at 44 of you, beautiful ones, 44, a magnificent number. Feel into the power of your beautiful DNA. Spiritual beings, completely whole to begin with, have always been. Okay, now let's just come back into the body. Let's rub our palms together, warm them up. And you can place them over your eyes, just so. And then just wash down the sides of your ears, down the side of your neck, down all the way through. Wow. My screen is going blitzy crazy. Wow. All right. You can just feel into what your body needs right now. If you need to rub down your legs like I do, bringing the energy down to the pelvic bones is crucial. Today we're going into the bowl of our being, the bowl that holds our soul, the seat of our soul. And we're gonna just take a moment afterwards before we finish to enter the creative womb space. Whether you have a real womb or not, doesn't matter. The womb itself is a metaphor. And we will close the ceremony, or we'll close it with this beautiful ceremonial moment, okay? But for now, we're going to work from the heart. How's everyone feeling? Is your screen blitzing as well? Is my voice okay? Is your tech good? Like, what's going on over there? How you're feeling? Did you see anything during the activation? Please let me know. And as always, if this is your first time, I know there are a few first timers here. If you have something coming up for you, absolutely share it in the comment section. I will definitely acknowledge it. If I missed it, just let me know again, because this is really the way that I usually work with my clients. We have mentorship spaces that are super fluid. Of course, there are ways that you come in and we work with some beautiful ancient wisdom through the way of tea, also known as Cha Dao, which I will share a little bit more today. And the mentorship space really is about addressing exactly what's going on for you. So take this opportunity to have a one-to-one with me. So anything that's coming up, share that, okay? That is my highest service to you, yeah? Whew, okay, wow, my heart is like crazy right now, but feeling so grounded as well. And this is why it's important to ground into our lower chakras as well, because as above, so below. This is a big key, a big master key to really understanding what the void is, what the unknown is, what the mystery that is life is. You know, when we are going through like an impossible uncertainty in our lives, for example, how do we navigate that? We're going to dive into that, okay? How was the 1212 portal energy when you received it into your body? How was it? Let me know. Jana is saying, lovely, felt great. I love that. Melinda, that was beautiful. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Selena, everything is great. You are always amazing at recentering. Selena, I think I remember you from the last live session. Welcome. Lay, that was really amazing. Joined slightly later, but connecting heart to mind was empowering. Perfect. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Thank you so much. Right here. I will start with this beautiful poem I wanted to share from one of the most revered Taoist sages. And you may have heard of him. His name is Zhuangzi. And he says, how can a person know Tao? By the heart. How can the heart know? By emptiness, the pure attention that unifies being and quietude. The heart is never without treasure, yet it is called empty. The heart is alive and it possesses knowledge. It knows, and from knowing makes distinctions. To make distinctions is to know all parts of the whole at once. One more time, to make distinctions is to know all parts of the whole at once. From Tao, which is so undefinable, because the minute we define Tao, it is no longer the Tao, which is the very fabric that all originates from. And that is what we also call source. That is also what we call the all. That is what we also call wholeness, right? If anything, wholeness is born out of Tao, because this is where to know all parts of the whole is to understand that when something that is distinctive, aka presence, is birthed through the all, through wholeness, it holds both ends of the whole. Even though with the physical eye, we see it as one thing. So for example, we may see that the seed itself, let's say we see a seed, the original nature of the seed is the sunflower, right? But we don't see the sunflower yet when we see the seed, just like the caterpillar, right? We see the caterpillar, but the true nature of the caterpillar is the butterfly. But in the moment when we witness the caterpillar, we don't see the butterfly in physical form, but when we understand that the true essence of the caterpillar is the butterfly, suddenly the perspective shifts, right? Suddenly we become, the energy shifts. It shifts to this expansive, it's like Lorianne just said, expansive and relaxing, like that energy that is truly calling us back to the divinity within. And when we speak about the Tao, I oftentimes want to share a little bit about the work that led me to where I am so deeply immersed in this place where I know I am here to connect you to a stillness that is deeper than any stillness that you have ever known. And that stillness is a cosmic stillness that connects you to source, that connects you to Tao, that connects you to the divinity within you, to know what your truth is. Not someone else's truth, not some organization's truth, not anyone, not even your parents. And there is this beautiful saying in Zen Buddhism that says, show me the face before your parents were born. And this is the face that we're talking about, this face, this divine essence that is that holds infinite potential. All of us originate from that. All of us have this original essence within us. And I find that my life has really completely changed in so many ways when I really recognize that I am not separate from this source. I've never been separate from this source. And in fact, the more we think about how are we supposed to integrate this, how are we supposed to embody this, the more I do this work, the more I recognize that when you acknowledge this presence, that is the first thing that has to happen, yes. Acknowledging the mystery, acknowledging that, you know what? Not just acknowledging, but deciding. And remember, in the word decision, it is this firm cutting off as well. That is so resonant of the element that we are in right now in the Northern Hemisphere, which is called the metal element. It's a metal. It feels very, very expansive. It's about releasing. It is about grieving. And it comes back. It actually, I do this when I talk about it because it automatically brings you to the part of your body where your lungs are. It's this inhaling and exhaling that you do with your lungs. To recognize the abundance of the universe, go nowhere else. Don't go any further than your lungs. The way we inhale the air, the way we exhale the air is very resonant to how we keep energy flowing in the universe. As we give, we receive. As we give, we receive. It's not dependent on each other. It simply does its thing. I see them as two parallel lines. It's like I breathe out and I breathe in. I breathe out, I breathe in. I don't need to, breathe in a little bit more in order to breathe out a little bit more, right? And so same thing, my loves, same thing goes to what we are here to be, what we are here to really bring forth into the world. This begins at the very, 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 very innermost part of who we are. So when I first came into the world, I oftentimes remember thinking, who am I and what am I here to do? I oftentimes felt a deep resonance with the moon and the stars. I remember thinking there are some beings out there. And when I walk through the nature, I always feel like I can talk to the plants, I can talk to the flowers, I can talk to the trees. I do it beautifully right now without any inhibition. But back then when I was a child, I used to be laughed at. I used to be people joke about it, people laugh at me about it. And I stopped doing it because I thought, maybe there's something really wrong with me for feeling this. And that kind of put a lid on it. And that went all the way down into my unconscious, the caverns that we explored just now in our activation. And that started to inform my actions. It started to inform my thoughts. And my world began to become smaller and smaller because there were more and more lines that were boxing me in. And eventually, by the time I reached, I would say around 18, I realized at that time, it was a big sign to me that, in order for you to be loved, you gotta do certain things that conforms to what people think you need to be. And so I looked around me and I thought, well, to be liked and to be respected, it looked like I had to study really hard and get a degree and get a really good job. And I did that. I studied really hard. I got into the university that I wanted to get into, and I met my first love there. And because of that intensity of attention and love that I was getting, I thought, you know what? In order for me to be worthy of this love, I need to make sure that I am in tip-top shape. And for some reason, I thought to be in tip-top shape meant that I had to have like the perfect body. And I think if I think back in hindsight, it really comes from the way I was brought up, the way that my mom really talked so much about dieting and being in a specific kind of body, and telling me what beauty was in the eye of their standards. And I thought, okay, you know what, for me to get the love that I want, in my head I was thinking, to get the love that I want from my parents, from my lover, I need to be a certain shape. So I started to diet. I started to get into like obsessively working on my body. And somehow along the way, I started to acquire this voice that spoke like the sergeant. I literally call him the sergeant. Said, you're not good enough. You can't eat if you don't do this, if you don't do da. And in my head at the time, I actually thought, you know what? This is a really good thing. This is going to discipline me. This is going to keep me in check. Very good. And you know what, everyone? Eventually, I fell into a place called anorexia. And I became so obsessed with that one thing that I ended the relationship that I thought was with the love of my life at the time. And it wasn't something that I did consciously. It was just something that I did because I felt like I need to keep pushing myself into this place of like the body of my dreams, which never really made any sense if I think about it now. And I thought, he's in the way. He's just so annoying, and to be in a relationship meant that I needed to explain myself the way that I did all those addictive behaviors of what an eating disorder led to. And if you don't know eating disorders, such as anorexia, what it was like was very much like I would seclude myself and exercise for hours. I would eat on my own because I didn't want anyone to criticize me about my food. I couldn't bear it. Like, I literally could not bear having anyone talking shit about it. And it's making me quite emotional talking about it. It's so weird, but I just feel that emotion of being so alone in the world and not really feeling connected to anything at that time. And all I knew was to punish. Yes, Brit, I'm seeing your comment now. You're saying, yes, I always find myself self-punishing. It's hard to stop. It is absolutely possible to stop. And I'm going to get there. So stick around. So that went on for about 10 years of my life. In between, I was admitted to the hospital. I had IV drips hung up, and I had a nutritionist who walked in and told me, you have a body constitution of a woman in her 60s and you're in your 20s. Literally, what's going on? And I was thrown into this huge kerfuffle because I couldn't think for myself. Everything I knew, it came from outside. Someone said this is better. Someone said that was bad. Someone said this, so I'll go according to that because they know better, right? They're the authority. And so I became so confused. Even in the sense of the disorder, I didn't even think there was anything wrong with me, because on one hand, some people are saying this is a disorder, and on the other, especially in my culture, I'm Chinese, I was raised in Malaysia, so my culture is very much Chinese. We have this weird ass culture of really dieting all the time and starving ourselves, and it's seen as something so normal. It's bizarre. And it fires me up. It makes me so upset sometimes. And that fires me up to do the work that I'm here to do. But that was the world I was living in. So on one hand, it was like, it's a disorder. And on the other hand, it was like, it's not. So what the fuck? And I couldn't think for myself at the time. And so I got so confused. I started to eat, but I couldn't stop because I was ravaged. I started to eat and I got into another spectrum on the other end of the eating disorder. I became a binge eater. I was so ashamed with myself, so hung up, embarrassed, resentful of the look I was getting. The people couldn't even recognize me anymore. The people who knew me when I was in anorexia couldn't recognize me when I was eating again, because I was putting on weight, I was bloated, all of that. And this went on for 10 years of my life, guys. 10 freaking years. Until I had a health scare. I call it a health scare now, but at that time it was very real. I had a big bulging thyroid on the side of my chin. And you know, to be honest, I honestly feel that it was God, the universe, Tao, doing its work, because if it didn't appear here, I would have completely ignored it. But because it was so obvious that I couldn't hide it, no amount of makeup could hide it, no amount of clothing could hide it, I had to address it. I had to stop it. I had to look at it and say, do I choose to live, or do I choose to just slowly, gradually die and fade away from this world through this illness, through this disorder? And so from somebody who was completely at the behest of other people's opinions and other authorities, I moved away from, quite literally moved away from the country I was in and moved to Hong Kong. And it was a really beautiful opportunity that presented itself. Again, the universe does its work. You know, I was in a space where I was completely surrendered. You know, I couldn't exercise anymore because I hurt my foot. I injured my foot, so I couldn't run. I couldn't do all the intense exercising. And so I was at the point where I was on my knees. I was like, oh my God, like what else? What's going on? I can't do anything anymore. And opportunity came knocking on my door and said, you know, do you want to move to Hong Kong? And it's been something that I've been trying to manifest for a long, long time. And when I say trying to manifest, it was like since I was a child. And when the opportunity came, I said yes. And I also said to myself, I'm going to heal from this. I'm going to recover because I choose to live. I'm done with hiding from relationships. I'm done with building this fortress around my heart. I'm done with being alone. And so I moved to Hong Kong and I started to recover. It took a year to really recover. My body started to balance out and plateau. The weight started to come back down. And eventually it became a beautiful journey where I was able to just, you know, I ate what I love to eat. I made peace with my plate, knowing that, I actually don't enjoy eating meat. So I'm going to become a vegan. Everything I eat is plant-based. And everything I'm doing is just yoga, meditation, to find that place where I can truly feel happy again. And what that meant was an exploration for sure. And eventually, slowly, I started to open up to relationships and started to date and all of that. And I eventually met my now husband. We met in Hong Kong. He's Scottish, but we met in Hong Kong. And everything was going along swimmingly. Like, you know, I was living in the city of my dreams. I had a man of my dreams. I had everything going, really. And then one night when I was meditating, I felt it. I felt this sense that there's actually something more that's calling me forward, but I had no idea what it was. This is the mysterious Divine Mother working her way. Yeah. And so I said, you know, okay, universe, I know there is something out there. Show me the way. I don't know what it is. I really don't. I was in the small little apartment, 100 square feet apartment, and I was on my bed. I was meditating. I knew that there was a calling, but I didn't know what it was. At that time, I wasn't even like, you know, in any sense of the word, integrated or embodied in the way that I am right now as the divine that I am. I was simply looking at this universe who's going to manifest something for me. You know, a lot of times growing up, we had all this this thinking that yes, you have to work really hard to do what you need to do and get where you want to get. And then now I'm at the point where I was like, I know I can manifest. This was how I manifested my husband, by the way, guys. Not joking. I literally had a notebook. I wrote down exactly how I wanted to feel with a man, how he would look like even. And voila, he came around after 2 weeks, around 2 weeks. And it was the easiest relationship ever. It wasn't something that, you know, he came through Tinder, not gonna lie, but before him, there were lots of frogs that I had to kiss. Let's just be real. And so after all of the frogs, I told myself, you know, the one thing I'm gonna do now is to focus on my life, my happiness, what I enjoy, full stop. And this guy is gonna treat me like a queen. This man is going to respect everything about me, and he's gonna love all my quirks. He's not gonna reject me because I had eating disorder, all of that. And he came around. So the way I looked at the universe was very much like, you know, something that would give me something at that time. Of course, now it's very different, so stick around. Keep sticking around. This story has a lot of light codes that are coming through. So this is how I deliver my transmissions, oftentimes as a human design line 6, by the way, guys. So anyway, so after the demand, the command to the universe, I received an invitation. I was working in the media at that time. So I got a media invitation to a tea ceremony. And I thought, you know, I do like tea. Although I wasn't a big fan of Chinese tea, I oftentimes just stuck around with like flavored tea or herbal tea, or at most Asian tea would be like Japanese tea. I love gyokuru. And so I thought, okay, I'll just go. It will be fun. And that place was literally like a few floors down from my office at that time, in Times Square. So I thought, this is super easy. No, all chill, all good. And the moment I went there, I just knew. I walked into that space. I just felt this almost like an all inspiring. Like it was an awe. Like I was in awe. There was this hush energy, almost like you're coming into a cocoon, coming into a womb space, actually, I would say. And I entered the tea ceremony space. I was handed a bowl. And when I placed it against my heart and I drank from it, I saw my grandmothers, great-grandmothers. I felt the presence of all the female in my line, my matrilineal line. Their presence were very palpable, and I saw my grandmother next to a cauldron that was boiling hot, and I could see that she was waiting patiently for the essence, the soup, the tea to be boiled to perfection before she would ladle it out. And then I heard tea speak to me. I heard tea spirit speak to me. I heard her say to me, drop everything you know and go and serve tea. And that was such a breaking open. It was a moment when the seed broke apart and pushed through the darkness of the soil and rose through into the light. And that was just the beginning, my loves, just the beginning, because I needed to completely allow the foundation of my identity to break apart, to fall apart. My old identity as the one who had no idea about spirituality, who had always followed the imprints of someone else. You know, they told me this is the way to do things, this is how you get a good salary, this is how you rise above, or this is how you get acknowledged in the society. I broke apart all of that. My identity completely broke apart. And I remember in that moment when I heard the mandate, I was so at ease. I felt it. And then when I came out, and then I started to go into the mind, just like any humans, I imagine, I started to go into the mind, and the mind started to go like, who the hell are you to do this? Like, you don't have any background, your family doesn't even do this, like anyone in your world does this, you have no idea. And I started to panic. I started to think, who am I really? Oh God, no way. And so I hung around. I went back home. I continued to go about my days. For weeks, I think, I just couldn't stop talking about it. I even went to the market and I got like a few cheap bowls, and I went and searched for a teapot that looked like the one that I saw. And then I just had those moments with myself at home. I bought the teas that they were serving, but that was it. And I couldn't stop talking about it until one day my colleague who sat next to me went like, you know what, you could just go there and talk to the person and ask them, you know, there's no harm asking what you need to do to learn. And I was like, that's very true. That's actually really true. I can just literally go in there and ask. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And that broke through the haze. You know, sometimes your mind is so tied up with its overthinking aspects that it's like, you didn't even see that, like, you know? And I think my colleague was probably like really sick and tired of me talking about it all day, all the time, you know? So bless her heart. I went to see the girl who did the ceremony, and I remember she told me, if you really want to learn about tea, come in here, drink tea as much as you can every day, so that you can learn the language of tea, so that you can understand how she speaks to you, just you, within you. And I took that on. I said, yes, I'm willing to learn anything and everything. I went in, I became an apprentice. I started from the very bottom rung. You know, I cleaned the tea space. I arranged all the little kettles and teapots and tea bowls. I did the silent apprenticeship right next to her as the apprentice who tuned into the water and made sure all the kettles were perfectly boiled, so that she, as the ceremonialist, can start to move just with that grace and that flow without having to think about what's going on over here. And eventually I had the plan to go to Taiwan to meet the teacher, her teacher. But what happened was, lo and behold, the universe had its hand again. The teacher came to Hong Kong from Taiwan. And so I had all the opportunities to be there, to learn, I didn't even need to move to anywhere to do it. I just literally learned right there with the teacher. And then right around the same time, my boyfriend at the time, asked me, hey, do you want to come to Edinburgh to live and see if we can live together and not kill each other and maybe get married someday? And it was an instant yes. And looking back now, I'm like, whoa, how did I even make that decision? And it's a very simple answer to that. I was feeling very taken care of. Yes, by my husband, in that sense where everything was just really cool and chill, and I knew that it was going to eventually be something that led to marriage. But more than that, it was also the sense that I felt the presence of tea, and I knew that that was a step that I needed to take. And the third thing was, I have been to Edinburgh, and I have felt in the ancient lands the power of the divine feminine. And I did hear the lands speak to me that there's work for you to do here. And so it was very simple. It was a very simple decision. Again, decision, everyone. Decision. I moved, I left, and I moved, and I started to put together all the little aspects of which led me to where I am here today. It began with tea, and it continued to ascend me into higher aspects of consciousness, which brought me into a place where I was able to share activations and share an energy that allowed people across the screen to feel, to tap into something in their own sacred spaces. And I started to hear people feedback to me and say, I don't know what it is, but I was able to sense and feel my late grandmother. I felt the presence of my like something from the Akashic records or from the Lemurian ages, all of those things. And more than that, there were many, many beautiful souls who sat with me, who broke into tears, who felt things they never thought they would feel. Their hearts opened. Hearts that were closed off for a long time opened, and they were able to feel again. And I cannot tell you how many times this has happened. It is so precious. I've seen women reclaim and make amends with their own ancestry. I have seen women make peace with their own bodies. I have seen women diving deep with the dark feminine and not see that that is a bad thing, but actually own that, integrate that, so that both ends of the polarity can become one again, wholeness. And so as I journey on this, I started to work with different teachers. I came deeper into the understanding of alchemy from the Taoist point of view, and eventually it led me to the Shaolin temples. Again, another breakthrough. I had this divine moment where I was sitting with my teacher, and I went into such a deep place. I saw that ascension isn't something that is coming from, like out there. It's literally from us. Our soul is rising, and we must allow room and space for that soul to rise. And if you ask me, what is it that allows that to rise? The answer can be so simple that your mind is going to be like, what the fuck? It literally is stillness. Letting stillness be the agent of activity, and letting activity to be an agent of stillness. At that time when I realized this, when I had this breakthrough moment where I saw the one thread that can allow us all to embrace death, to overcome the fear of death and failure, I was so in awe that it took me a moment, because I thought, this is so profound, and yet will there be people who will be actually into this? And this has been my entire journey, and for the past year. And I'm telling you here is that I realize that my superpower is right here. It's to bring you into that depth of stillness. There is such richness in it. My God, like this cosmic interwoven tapestry of stillness. It is infinite potential. In stillness, we are infinite potential. And when we are stillness in motion, we are pure creation. And this is where I want to say, stop leaking your energy to external things. And this includes all the internal battles within you. Am I enough? Am I not enough? And all the things outside of you tells you like, are you sure? I'm not sure if that's a good thing. But you know deep down of you that it is a good thing for you, because it's your truth. It is your North Star. It is your purpose. Stop leaking your energy out to other people, because you know what? They are fractals. They are fractals that are feeding back to you what is right for you and what is wrong for you. That's all. You're not meant to fit into their values. And this is why, again, coming back to the foundation, do you know deeply who you are? Do you know deeply what you stand for? To know that we must enter that stillness. We must enter that stillness where we find that point within you where there is no intense desire and no intense rejection. In other words, the vortex of stillness. In other words, Tao. In other words, source. In other words, the universe, the void. This is the 0 point field. Because if there is any attachment to a specific outcome, you can be sure that your ego is still at work. You can feel it in your body actually. You can feel that I'm going into the head, I'm going into the mind, I'm starting to think, maybe I should follow up on this, maybe I should do something about that. Versus, I know I need to email this person. I know I have to go into this mentorship. I don't know why. I can't make sense of it with my mind, but bringing the mind down here to feel it, to revel in it, is your master key. This is the second master key I'm sharing with you today. Bringing the mind down to the body, to be with what is coming up, rather than going up into the mind to make sense of it. And if this is something you are absolutely like intrigued, you want to work on it, you want to master this instead of having it master you, this is what we do in my mentorship. So this is really a big thing that really governs the multifold complexities of what we do in ceremony, in activation, in mentorship together. I'm not here to tell you what to do, because this is the truth. Any strategies will work if you know who you are. The minute you're able to really understand how your system works, what is a no, what is a yes, what is a what is a wait, what is a go, all kinds of strategies will work. This is the fact. And you'll know exactly with which strategy to pick. And when I speak about strategy, I mean like whether it's for your business, whether it's for your relationship, whether it is like anything that is in accordance with the divine will. Because the divine will is your will. If you try to go against the divine will, we all know what happens. We all know what happens. And we don't want this to occur in such a physical sense. It doesn't have to. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's like you don't have to go into such a deep discontent for things to break apart, to change. If we know, I love that question, Joyce, not ayahuasca. I'm going to get to that in a bit. And thank you, Britt, right? You love this key? And thank you for the, yeah, I mean, that just came through me, the example. We want to get to a point where we are so at one with our source energy as a human experience. So, in other words, allowing the cosmos to express through you, as you, for you. This is what I'm here for. This is truly, truly what I'm here for. This is where you operate from a place where you know that everything is happening for you. There is no such thing as a mistake. There is no such thing as a failure, because you already know that everything, including the resistance, I'm not saying that you just fly through life like la-di-da. You will encounter resistance, because you know why? It is in nature's way to have resistance for you to grow. There will be discomfort. For you to come out of the comfort zone, there will be discomfort for the current version of yourself. But make no mistake, the highest self is the unknown. You've got to decide how you want to live, because you are the one being that was designed by the great infinite to have free will. This is what free will is. Will you choose? Will you decide? No? Okay, keep going. Deciding that from this point on, you are going to act as the highest self. And getting clear on the highest self means getting clear on your highest values. What is your value? Meaning, what do you value? If you value a spiritual life aligned with the divine, own it. Own the fuck out of it. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Because you know what? As an infinite woman, sitting here right here, for me to tell you this is that I live a miraculous life, a magical life every single moment because I choose to. I am aligned with the divine. I commune with the divine all the time. All the time. I don't have, but to some other people who have different values, they would think it's crazy, right? If they ask me, do you have a strategy for your business? Do you have a plan? Da, da, da. I'm like, I don't. I move. When I get it in the moment, I move with what is alive and true. When I think that even if it's going really well and the moment comes when it says it's the end, I cut it. And people would think it's crazy. People with different values would think it's crazy. But that's why I'm saying who I'm calling in to work with me are women who truly align with my values, who see they have similar values. They don't have to be exact values, but they value that divine connection. They value self-mastery. They value presence. They want to be embodied divine presence. Right? So just coming back to the comments, Joyce, maybe I missed it, but may I ask what kind of tea? Okay, I'm going to answer this. And Dee is saying, I love your words and wisdom. I am still searching. Oh, thank you, Dee. And what are you searching for? Can you tell me? Let me know. So to answer Joyce's question, this is perfect timing. I don't do ayahuasca. I've never done it, and I certainly don't think I need it because this is literally a cosmic journey when I work with tea. The tea that I work with is, in common words, it's tea from indigenous origin. So usually from China, sometimes from Japan, sometimes from Vietnam, sometimes from Taiwan, but they are indigenous origin. And what does that mean? That means that they are grown from seed. It's seed propagated. And why is that important? Because a lot of times, if we look at commercial tea, they are actually taken from the branch of the original tree so that they can produce more. But what happens is that destroys the earth that they are planted on, because first and foremost, they were branches. So their roots are actually not going to go any deeper than an original seed. If you've looked at a seed-grown plant before, I would encourage you to do this. If you bring it up, you will see that the roots actually entwine like an interconnected web, like we just went into just now in our activation. It holds the earth, like it just hugs the earth. Meanwhile, a branch, it's like wispy roots, so that destroys the earth, literally. It really does. After a couple of years, they have to transplant because the earth is already gone. The nutrition and everything is done. So we don't want that. We want to work with tea that is seed propagated and fertilizer free, biochemical free, but basically there is no irrigation as well, so that there is again no destroying of the earth. And most importantly, it has this most beautiful relationship with the farmers, meaning the artisans, the farmers who work with the tea leaves, they are not producing the leaves based on their agenda. They are producing the leaves based on this intuitive knowing what will bring out the best facades of the leaf every year. Every production is different. Even if they come under the same name, you can be sure that every year it tastes different. And so these are the leaves that we work with. We call them living tea because even though, it can oftentimes be organic, but not necessary, because, and also even if it's organic, sometimes they still use fertilizers and biochemicals. So we want to be careful with that. And living tea is not very common. Let's be real. It's a very small batch production. It's very beautiful, and I honestly work with like literally a handful of people that I can trust. I source these leaves myself, and my intention in 2025 is to actually be on the lands and be the one to actually speak to the farmers. So that is my intention. I'm putting it out there. But for now, these are the leaves that we work with, and they are adaptogenic. That means the tea itself loves being with humans. So you can have tea every day, it won't affect you. And because these are living tea, and I'm not talking about the commercial tea because that is absolutely different, I cannot vouch for that. Living tea, it allows you to drink them in, and if you wonder about like caffeine and blah, you know, it's different from coffee because you will pee the caffeine out. Versus coffee, this is like a whole other ball game, because you will pee out the caffeine that is attached to the polyphenols. Your body cannot hold excess polyphenols. It just cannot. So the caffeine that is attached to the polyphenols, it will come out through your whatever that you're excreting. Yeah. So that is why, that is the more, you know, scientific way of speaking about this beautiful plant. But what I want to share with you about this plant is that it has truly been a plant spirit medicine that a lot of people have forgotten is a plant spirit medicine. And I think the reason for that is because it's become so commercialized. It's one of the biggest consumed beverage, and there's a lot of money to be made out of it. Let's be real, right? Not the small batch ones, but these commercial tea, right? So yes, you can absolutely drink tea as a beverage, and that's the end of the story. But the minute you open up to its medicine and revere it and honor it in ceremony, because ceremony is the way to enter the portal. Ceremony requires your full presence. Without your presence, there is no ceremony. And when I say your presence, you're bringing your divinity, you're bringing your human, and you're coming into a place where all aspects of you gets to exist. No parts of you is left behind. Same for you, same for the other person who's sitting next to you, same for the other person who's sitting across from you. And this is why we have this beautiful saying that when we are having tea in ceremony, the scientist and the non-scientist, the mystic, the Muslim, the Christian, the Buddhist, they all can sit together with no judgment. This is literally the place where we enter to be in no time, no space, no mind. And that is the 0 point field, my friends. And that is the physical part. It's just the physical part where you literally sit and be. Then we enter into activation. We come into this pure portal of creation where we access your infinite potential. And this is through my work, by the way, guys. I don't vouch for other people's ceremonies. This is what I really have designed and found that it's really what I'm called here to do. The work that I do with cosmic consciousness, because we all have a cosmic origin. And the more we can understand that, the more we can embody that knowing, the more we are able to be sovereign. The more we are able to understand how we can work with our own energies and not be at the whims and woes of others. And ultimately, there's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. So this is big work, my friends. We all have a lot of responsibilities when we understand this, no doubt. And when I say responsibility, it's not the conventional word of like what society says, oh my God, so heavy, all the responsibility. This is responsibility is fired up. It's the Aquarian age energy, where here is the power of Joanne of the Ark. You know, it's like, what are the untold stories that we're here to tell? Continue to write for our ancestors, continue to write for the women who didn't have the opportunity to do. And we get to leave behind a legacy where we are wealthy, infinite women. We don't move as reactions. We move with responsibility. We move as stillness. We are relaxed. We are expansive. We reach for the stars because we know we are truly limitless. Do you want that? Would you like that legacy for the future generations, for you now? Because no legacy is left without being lived. You have to live that. You have to live and live by your word. If you know you're truly limitless, you've got to live it. Can't just say it. So who's here for that? Who's here for that infinite potential to be realized, to be actualized? Let me know in the comments. Claim it, claim it, claim it, claim it. Claim it, guys. Be the stillness in motion. Can you claim it right now? Please put it in the comments. Right, let me see. Selena is saying, I relate so much to every word. Amen, sister. You have reminded me we're not alone. And all one. Brit, I am. Yes. Joyce, love that. Casey, I want it. And so you shall. You gotta be it. You want it, you gotta be it. The reason you want something is because it already exists in the field. And this is the work that we do. How can we master the calling in? Yeah, this is the work. If you want it to be difficult, like that is the work, right? If you want to work for it, that's what I mean. But truly, it all begins in energy. It's always energy first. It's always frequency first. Claimed, yes. Matt, yes. Selena claimed. Lay, claim it. I think that's what you're meaning. Jennifer, oneness, yes. Anna, yes. Matt, I am it. You are. And now, let's seal that in. Let's bring our attention. Close your eyes for now. And bring all parts of you into the space below the navel. Keep breathing into that part of you. Inhale, let it expand. Let it be loose. Let it be malleable. Malleable. And exhale all the way out into the sacrum. Inhale into the place below the navel once more. Expand, 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 expand. And exhale, navel towards the spine. Exhale into the sacrum. Place one hand, put your left hand on that spot below the navel. And the other, your right hand, on the sacrum. And there's a part around the coccyx. It's right around the sacrum area in the center, somewhere close to the tip of your tailbone. There are a few doorways here. And I want you to, even if you have no idea how it looks like, I would love for you to simply breathe light in through this doorway. Simply inhale, because it's so easy. It's who you are. Inhale. And exhale the light. Releasing, let the light open the sacrum to the left and right, like two doors. You're opening to the left and right. Open it all the way up. Inhale again through the coccyx, the doorway. And exhale, release and keep opening the sacrums. Let it open, two sides. And you're going to bring your attention now to the mother of all, the space deep in the earth. Allow your presence to fully arrive, and let that life force that you know in your consciousness is the dark goddess, the one who governs life and death. Allow her gift of a magnificent pearl to enter you. Deep breath in from below all the way up. Drink the pearl up through the tip of your tailbone. Continue to roll it up the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Let the vertebrae open. Let it open, 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 like an abacus, all the way, like a chain of the cycle. Open it. Continue to bring the pearl up. Let the pearl open each vertebrae. Keep going. To the back of the heart. Let that open the back of your heart. Let it release all the tension around it. Let it release and break down all the fortress, the hardness, the coldness around it. Let it go. Continue to roll the pearl up. Let the pearl go all the way up between the shoulder blades. And let us all meet up the neck at the base of the skull. And roll it up to the back of your head. And feel the expanse, the cosmic energy here at the back of your head swirling. And continue to rise up to the top of your head. And let it roll down through the third eye, all the way down the throat, through the front of your heart, into the solar plexus, down into the belly. And open your eyes. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, my love. So before we finish, I would love to share with you some ways that you can continue on this journey with me if this is something you feel really called into. The most powerful one I'm going to talk about is the Initiating Awakening journey. It's a mastermind, a 12-month mastermind where we really dive into your cosmic origin. We come into quantum expansions. We work with tea and ceremony to bring us deeper into the portal without any interference of the mind. We're really becoming a crystalline channel in this space. And you get into the depth of the truth of who you are in this beautiful journey together. That is happening right now, and it's at a pre-sale price. So jump on in if you want, DM me. Another one is really close to my heart. It was channeled through the way of tea, the work that I do in meditation and activation with tea called Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman. It's a 3-month journey. This is where we dive deep into the art of tea and working with it as a way of life for you. How do you integrate that into your life? How do you become stillness? How can you move as stillness? This is the art of what we call effortless action in action. So if that is for you, it's at 29% off right now because this is my birthday month. It's not going on for too long actually because it will end on the 29th, which is my birthday. So if you want to jump in, please DM me as well and I'll send the code to you to use at checkout, okay? All of these have payment plans and they are going to be impactful. So it's going to stretch you out of your comfort zone, that's no doubt, but you'll be completely held. And this is my promise to you, no parts of you are left behind, so that we can construct a new emergence, a completely new possibility that is truly limitless. You are going to transform so deeply. Like this is my promise to you. And finally, I have on the 21st of December a retreat that is coming up. It's an online retreat, so you can join me. It's called When Empty Meets Quiet. And this is really in defiance of the rush to get into light. You know, this is like a defiance to people who are rushing and going about the month in this huge blur. Because December is actually a really magical month if you allow it to be. Like the stillness itself has really powerful light codes. And so this retreat is really for that. It's for you to really go into the depth of the yin aspects, to be so receptive of that codes and come out in your own time to become light, to sprout, to blossom. Let's put it that way. And if anyone is going through grief, or you need to move through certain things that are very uncertain and unknown, this is perfect for you as well. On the 21st, we come together in a retreat. And then on the 22nd, I will open a Telegram group where we can share and reflect and ask questions, because on the 21st is very much like a silent retreat, if you will. We're really working with energy there. And then finally, of course, just a special one here. If all of this are like, you know, I'm not ready yet, but I would love to dive in, I have a very special thing going on. It is only for £29 right now. It's a tea ceremony that I am very called to hold on the 20th of December. You will receive the replay. It's lifetime access, but it's going at £29 right now. And the price will go up eventually until, I don't know, 111, which is usually what I would charge for this. So if you want to come in, DM me. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me as well. You know, I don't bite. I won't push anything on you. I won't sell anything hard on you. So come on in. If you want the link, you gotta ask for it. If you want to come in, you gotta be the one who chooses to be coming in. This is what I am here for. I won't babysit any kinds of doubts or hesitation. You gotta choose to upgrade. You gotta choose to up level. Oh, speaking of that, Chadao for the multidimensional woman is getting an upgrade. So the price will go up in January. So if you want to lock that in, come in right now at the 29% off. This is perfect timing. Yeah, we're up leveling like big time, and I'm so honored to journey with you if you are called to journey with me. All right, big kisses. 80 people, my goodness. I am so happy that I get to spend time with you today. Such a special portal to be in. Let this be your power move. Let this be the day that you decide I am limitless, and let's freaking go, because if you don't master the game will master you. And we are here to lead, right? We are here to create a world that we call 5D. We are the ones, no one else. So let's do this. All right. I love you, and I'll see you when I see you.